Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Master Grade video review, and this time finally finishing off the little marathon of Gundam Wing Endless Waltz kits that I've been reviewing. This will be, or for a little bit at least, this is going to be the Master Grade Shenlong video review. And as you can see here, we do have the Shenlong, very nice, very fully realized once again as the Endless Waltz redesign from Katoki Hajime, and just overall I do really like the way this kit looks. Just like Heavy Arms, this kit comes out looking a lot like the Okawara counterpart. Some of the main differences being in the weapons, which we'll get to in a moment, but just overall does look very nice. Very well detailed. I do like it. The cockpit hatch right down here does get a little tedious to open up because we got so much armor to get through, and it does open up and we can go ahead and take a look in there, and you can see Chang Wu Fei sitting in the cockpit section. And go ahead and take a look at the head. Very nice head sculpt. I do really like it. Overall, it does, like, this kit does give me the feel of a lead Gundam with the different colors, with the bright blues, the bright red, the bright yellow, and the white. And it just ends up all looking pretty cool. Nice green dual front cameras going on. Green eyes, if you could see in there. And then a nice little itty bitty green camera in the back. So overall, looks very nice. I do like it. Poseability wise, if you've seen any of my wing kits before, it's really repetitive. Same stuff, same inner frame. So the ball joint at the top of the neck allows to bend, look side to side, and then the tilt in the base of the neck, so you can look down, look up pretty well. The shoulders do come out a little ways and then are completely 360-degree bend, nothing in the back impeding them. And the shoulder does come out like this, universal shoulder, so it does go forward and backwards and comes out a little ways. Bicep swivel. Very nice bicep swivel. Double joint in the elbow, but some of the armor does get in the way, so that's as far as you're going to get for the elbow bend. Double ball joint system for the torso, so we do have a bend in the top of the torso, as well as a bend in the bottom of the torso, and a side-to-side rotation. Side skirts the skirt armor does get out of the way fairly decently. The side skirt pieces end up being a little bit more complicated because they've got more chunkiness going on to them. And once again, there is the model number decal. And once again, universal hips, so we can rock forward and backwards and bend outward, as well as the bicep swivel, or the thigh swivel. And then double jointed bend in the knee. That does look really nice, and as you can see, out of all of the kits, there is the most that gets shown in the knee when it bends. And for some reason, that's the first time I've ever had that arm pop off, so that was weird. And double ball jointed system in the ankle, so the top can move around and the bottom can move around, as well as bend in the foot. So, just like all the other wing kits, very nice poseability in just all around. Very nice, very realistic poseability. You can get into any kind of pose you really want it to get into, for as long as the armor doesn't end up getting in the way. Size comparison time. Here we have him standing up next to the original Gundam, and as you can see what I mean by the color choices for the Shenlong. And as you can see, just like all other wing kits, the Shenlong is a little bit smaller than the standard Gundam, size of about 18 meters. Real quick, we can bring him in the Wing Gundam Proto Zero that I like to show off with every one of these kits because it's the only thing to a Wing Gundam that I have at the moment. So, aside from Wing Zero for Endless Waltz, but I was going to show that off in a later review anyways. But, so yeah, there's the two of them standing side by side. Now, accessory time. We do get a fairly good amount of accessories. We do get this shield here, which is a very nice blocky shield. I do really like the way that looks. Bless me. Sorry about that. And it just pegs into the side of the arm, just like a shield would. Oh, and I forgot to mention the wrist articulation. It is on a ball joint, and it doesn't bend as much as what we saw before with the other wing kits, where the the piece that separates the arm from the hand bends in with the wrist. And then we do have the standard fingers, or the ball joint, and then swappable fingers that we've seen with all the other wing kits that I've reviewed. And so we have that shield. We have the 1:100 scale figure of Chang Wu Fei. We do have the action base connector. And we have the swappable fingers. We do have the standard default fists. The gripping hands without the tooth in the middle of them. The gripping hands with the tooth in the middle of them. And the splayed open hands. And we also do have this swappable piece for the backpack, which back here there's this piece right here that if we just unplug that, which is sometimes a pain to do because of how tight it pegs in, we can take that out and plug this piece in, and that would allow us to store the beam javelin, or the beam trident on the back, which here is the beam trident handle. Very nice beam trident. All it is just one, I believe it's one solid piece. Okay, it's 3 solid pieces altogether. We got the handle, the bar for the handle, and then we've got the emitter for the beam effect. And that we can peg onto the back. Just like that. To display Wu Fei not using it. And if we don't want to do that, we can always go ahead and take it off. I'll go ahead and remove this piece because I'm not going to be using it anymore. Just show off what it does. So, I think I plugged that piece in wrong. Hang on. Yeah, it's a weird oval-like connection. And you want to plug it in instead of this piece facing the same way the oval is going. If you plug it in that way, it makes the connection a little bit tighter and will keep it from falling out. But anyways, the beam javelin, now we're going to go ahead and take the... I'll use the left hand so we can use the other accessory that we'll have going on. And just take the fingers off. And then take the beam javelin. And as you can see here, it's just a couple different slots that you can peg the hand into. And by doing that, we can have him hold on to it. And then take the beam effect piece for the beam javelin. And that plugs on just like that. And there we have him holding on to his beam javelin. And then finally, the last piece of accessory that we do have is the Dragon Fang, the signature weapon of the Shenlong Gundam, aside from the obvious beam javelin, or the beam, I keep wanting to call it beam javelin, beam trident. And it's got this connector piece right here, which is on a hinge. And we connect it onto the arm just by sliding it on the same kind of peg that we would use for a shield, but on the right hand. And then it folds up on the back to fold up and be stored out of the way. And it also transforms by folding forward, and as you can see at that point, it's oop, there goes the beam javelin. Here, actually, I'm going to swap this out for the fingers without the tooth in the middle of them, because I don't like the way he holds the beam javelin sideways. Come on. And he just doesn't have the tight grip that way, so that's a bit of a detriment, but oh well. Anyways, with the Dragon Fang, as you can see here, it's folded out, and it comes up on the underside of his arm. So what we have to do now is just rotate the arm around. Okay, the arm's not wanting to rotate around with me, so come on. There we go. Just rotate the arm around, and then we can plug it back on like that. And it does have fins posable here on the back, just for some extra detail. And then you can open up the fangs. And display it as if it were opening up and getting ready to shoot fire out of the mouth like it does in the anime. Now, the unfortunate thing that I have a problem with this Dragon Fang is the fact that it does not extend. It doesn't come with any extra parts to make the arm look like it's extended out, which would have been awesome to have. Just so we could just have him posed with the arm stretched out like how it does in the anime. But overall, very nice, and he is not wanting to hold the beam javelin at all, so. And I called it a beam javelin again. Maybe that's why I'm having such a problem with it. But anyways, there is Shenlong once again. And real quick, go ahead and bring in the other wing guys. I have Death Scythe right here. Heavy arms right here. Well, let's move them back a little ways so we can get them all in camera. Sandrock over here. And I'll get him on the stand real quick. Wing Gundam Proto 0 all the way back there. And that's a pretty nice little display we've got going on. Now, if I had the Wing Zero version Ka, or the Wing Zero, or the Wing Gundam version Ka, or Wing Gundam EW, then that would be a little bit more accurate to pose with. But I don't have that. But anyways, very nice kits, all of them. The Shenlong, a very fun kit to build, very awesome, very nice. I do really like it. Out of these 5, though, I do have to say the Wing Proto Zero was probably my favorite to build, but that's because it's a newer kit and it's a lot more engineering into the kit, and it's a transformable mobile suit. But out of these 5, I do have to say I like Heavy Arms a little bit better, just overall because a lot more stuff that he's got going on with him. Just overall really nice, really fun kits, all 5 of them. If we got Death Scythe, if we could get Death Scythe Hell in the shot too. Show off all 6 of them that I've reviewed so far. Oh wow, he's gonna just have him back here. But nah, he's not gonna be visible. But anyways, just very nice kits, all 5 of them. I do really like the Shenlong. I do suggest you pick any of these kits up. You would not be disappointed. The construction is fun. Just overall very nice, very fun builds for each and every one of these kits. And if you really do like the Wing series, if you like the suits for Gundam Wing, I do highly suggest you pick up any one of these kits. Give it a try at least. Maybe, don't quote me on this, but once again, maybe we might see Okawara redesign, or the Okawara designs of these in the future. I don't see it ever happening really, but it's always something to wish for the future. But anyways, this has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you guys next time with another review. See ya.